Lights, cameras in my face, hands on the stand trying to plead her case. Said it was love, but it smelled like a scheme. Trading a husband for a teenage dream. Hands on trial, scandals burning hot. Teacher with a plan, but she got caught. Hands on trial, verdict in the air. Justice is coming, better say your prayer. Hands on trial. Whispers loud, jury's taking notes. Star witness kids in their Sunday coats. Bang of a gavel, lies start to crawl. She wanted romance, he ended it all. Hands on trial, scandals burning hot. Teacher with a plan, but she got caught. Hands on trial, verdict in the air. Justice is coming, better say your prayer.
What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Say hi to a few people before we get started. Hello, Frank. Hello, Flash Fan. Hello, Let's Go. Are all these pictures of AJ? Yes. With boys? I know, it's odd, isn't it? Hello, Bri Bear. So, just to kind of give you a rundown of like the week. Sorry if the background is loud. I don't know what Cheyenne is doing downstairs. So today we're gonna hear from Sarah Thomas and Ralph Welch. They were actually the two people that turned the teen conspirators in. That's gonna take probably about an hour or so, and then we'll hop into Robert Halvorson, or Halvorson, however you say his last name. He is actually the one that is the FBI tape recording contractor. So he's about 40 minutes. Then tomorrow, we'll just hear from one person. It'll be Detective Daniel Peltier. Take about 2 hours. And then Wednesday, we're going to go into actually a key witness. It's Cecilia Pierce. She was one that wore a wire when she had a conversation with Pam. So I think that one will be really interesting. And then hear from the 911 dispatcher, hear from Pam's friend. That will wrap Wednesday up. And then Thursday, we will jump right into hearing from Pam Smart herself. So it should be a pretty interesting week. Got a lot of key people about to take the stand. And I think it'll be pretty interesting to hear what they have to say. So without further ado, Baker says, where's that old lady? The one who looks like grandma after partying with Baker for a week. Is Gabby taking the night off? Gabby's right there. And oh, I'm sorry, Bri. Injured my hand last night at work, so won't be able to chime in too much. I'm so sorry. I hope your hand gets better. So, alrighty, let's go ahead and jump into it. The first person that's going to testify is Sarah Thomas, and then Ralph Welch will be right after her.
$17.
Where do you go to school, Sarah?
Winnicott High School.
What year are you in now?
I'm a junior.
Did you go to Winnicott High School last year?
Yes, I did.
You know a person named William Flynn.
Yes, I do.
How do you know William?
I go to school with him.
When did you first meet him?
7th grade,
What school were you going to in 7th grade?
Seabrook Elementary.
How would you describe your relationship with Mr. Flynn?
We were close friends.
When did you first become close friends?
In 7th grade.
Do you know a person named Vance Latamy?
Yes, I do.
How about Patrick Randall?
Yes.
How would you describe your relationship with them?
Acquaintances. We weren't really friends.
Do you know Pamela Smart?
We met once.
Can you point her out, please, if she's in the courtroom? Other than, where have you seen the defendant since you've seen her?
At Vance's house.
Anyplace else?
I saw her in school a few times. We never spoke.
Okay. Under what circumstances did you see her at Vance's house?
I was going to have my oil changed there.
And the Vance we're talking about is Vance who?
Latamy.
Junior or senior?
Junior. Sorry.
Where is Mr. Latamy's house?
It's in Seabrook on Collins Street.
Who was present the day you were going to get your oil changed?
Raymond, Ralph. Do you want last names?
Sure. Thank you.
Raymond Fowler, Ralph Welch, Frank Daly, Bill Flynn, myself, and I really can't recall who else. There might have been other people there.
Now, who is Frank Daly?
Someone I know from school.
What's your relationship with him?
Acquaintances.
And how about Raymond Fowler?
Also acquaintance.
Now, you mentioned 5 people. You started off having said that the defendant was there.
She arrived later.
Was anyone with her?
Cecilia Pierce.
What was the defendant and Cecilia Pierce doing at Mr. Latamy's house?
Bill was going to change her oil.
What car was she driving?
Silver CRX.
Okay, now tell me what happened. Both you and the defendant are there. Tell me what's going on during the day with the oil being changed.
Oh. Bill was working on my car. He couldn't get the oil filter off. And when Pam, excuse me?
Go ahead.
When Pam arrived, he went over and he was working on her car, and Raymond continued to change the oil in my car.
Okay, where was Bill Flynn?
At what point?
At the point where he went over and he was working on the
He was
defendant.
under her car.
And then what happened?
He took his jacket off because he didn't want to lay on it on the ground. And I asked him if I could wear it. He said yes.
You're gonna have to keep your voice up a little bit.
Sorry.
So Bill took his jacket off and he was underneath the car. And then what did you say from there?
I asked him if I could wear his jacket. He said yes, so I put it on
Okay. And where was Bill at the point where you put his jacket on?
under the car.
What happened after you put his coat on?
Put my hands in the pockets, and there was a note there, so I read it.
Okay. Did you take the note out and read it?
Yes.
Okay, what happened? How many notes were there?
1.
What happened after you took the note out?
Frank told me to put it away.
And what was his tone of voice when he told you to put it away?
He seemed kind of shocked that I had it.
What did you do after Frank told you to put it away?
I read on for a few more moments, and then I put it in my pocket.
Where was the defendant when that happened? Was she there? Or
She was somewhere around there, I think. I don't know. She may have come after I found the note. I'm not really sure.
What was the temperature out that day?
It was cool.
Now, after you put the note back in the pocket, what happened after that?
I gotta pause it for just a second. Mom, if you are still in here, I'm having problems on the YouTube side. I can't see the chat. It just says something went wrong. So I hope that's not an issue. If it is, I don't know how to fix that. So either just type in the chat or text me. So, all right, get back to this.
Bill came over a few minutes later and said he would tell me about it later.
Let me go back and talk about the note. Was it handwritten or typed or what?
It was handwritten.
What kind of paper was it on?
I believe it was yellow legal paper.
Did, what characterized the kind of note it was?
What was in it?
No, just tell me the kind of note, what was the subject matter of the note?
Excuse me. There was jealousy expressed over other girls.
Was there a particular girl that jealousy was expressed about?
Katrina Raymond.
Now, you said Bill spoke with you about it later. Tell me the substance of that conversation.
Bill said that the letter was from Pam and that she was upset about something that happened on the way back from a concert with Katrina.
Did he tell you why the letter was from Pam?
He said that they were having an affair.
Sarah, approximately when did this take place?
Within a week after April 14th.
And why do you remember April 14th?
It was the date of the concert.
What concert?
Motley Crue.
And you saw the notes after that concert.
Yes.
After this incident, did you ever have any other discussions with Bill about notes?
Yes. In school the same week, I was shown 2 more.
Can you keep your voice up a little? Go ahead and do that with you.
In school, within the same week, he showed me 2 more notes.
Where were you in school when he showed you the notes?
In the library.
And characterize for me the kind of notes he showed you in the library.
They were very sexually explicit.
Okay, now, the first note that you spoke about wasn't sexually explicit?
No.
It was just a love letter.
Yes.
And both of the ones that you saw in the library were both sexually explicit, is that right?
Yes.
And did Bill tell you who the notes were from that you saw in the library?
He told me that they were also from Pam.
How soon after you saw the note at JR's house did Bill show you these 2 notes in the library?
Within a week.
Sarah, do you know what happened at the concert with Katrina?
On the way back from the concert, Bill and Katrina were both drinking.
Okay, and did something happen between them?
Bill kissed her. That was really all I saw.
Okay, thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
I won't be long with that. Just a few questions. You're good friends with Billy Flynn?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You made out a police report on this. You remember making out a police report?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I just want to be fair with you. In the police report, you said it was March when this conversation or this oil changing took place. Is it your better recollection that it was April now?
I'd spent more time, and I found my concert ticket, and I got the time, relation, and better perspective.
So now it's in what, middle or later part of April?
Yes.
And you know why you're here. I mean, this is a murder case, right?
Yes.
Okay. You read through these letters,
Yes.
and you read every line of the letter?
No.
What you read of the letters, was there any plot to kill Gregg Smart? No?
No, there wasn't.
You had other conversations with Bill Flynn, too. In fact, you directly asked Bill in the mid or late part of April whether or not Bill loved Pam. Remember?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell the jury what Bill Flynn told you?
He said that he didn't know, but the sex was great.
Thank you.
I have nothing further, Your Honor. Can you state your name and spell your last name for the record, please?
Ralph Welch, W-E.
So this is going to be the next one that comes up. He is, like he just stated his name, Ralph Welch, another friend of Billy that actually turned all the conspirators in. Thank you so much, Flash fan. Also, I'm gonna try to fix the YouTube studio, so if something happens and it just completely kicks everything out, sorry. But I am gonna at least try to fix it because it's making it where I can't see certain things. So let's see what Mr. Ralph has to say.
LCH,
How old are you, Ralph?
18,
Where did you go to school?
Winnicott High School,
What year are you in?
junior.
Is this the first time you've been a junior, or have you repeated a year?
First time I've been a junior.
And did you repeat any years before that?
Freshman,
What school do you go to?
excuse me?
Did you say what school you went to?
Yes, Winnicott High School.
And did you go there last year?
Yeah.
Ralph, where did you live in May, June 1990?
With Vance Latimer and Diane Latimer.
And I assume you know Vance Latimer Jr.
Yes,
What's your relationship in the spring with Mr. Latimer?
we were best friends, close.
How long did you know Vance Latimer?
As far back as I can remember.
Was there anything different about your friendship in the spring of 1990 than it might have been in the past years?
Since I've been going out with my girlfriend, we've not been spending as much time together.
And how long had you been going out with your girlfriend in May of 1990?
I think it was just about a year.
Why was it that you were living at Vance's house?
It's real close to the family since I was little, and I just ended up living there.
Where did your,
Sorry.
sorry,
His mother helped me get back into school. She was really pushing for me to get in school, so she helped me get back into school and stuff.
and so you left school and then at some point went back to complete your year?
Yes,
Do you know Patrick Randall?
yes,
How do you know Patrick?
we were best friends too.
How long did you know Patrick?
Same as JR.
How about William Flynn?
Yes,
What's your friendship with William Flynn?
good friends too.
How long have you known William?
About 3 years.
Do you know Raymond Fowler?
Yes,
How do you know Raymond?
he's my cousin.
What's your relationship like with Raymond?
We're friends.
Now, going back to the spring of 1990, thereabouts, how often would Patrick Randall and William Flynn be at yours and JR's house?
Pete was there more than Bill. Pete was there just about every day. Sometimes Bill would Bill was every other day, sometimes 2 days in a row.
It wasn't unusual to see them at the house.
No,
Who else would you say hung around that house as frequently as those two? Was there anyone?
no,
Do you know Cecilia Pierce?
yes,
Was she somebody that was at the house?
she had come down a couple of times. I don't remember ever seeing her in the house or anything like that.
What's your relationship with Cecilia Pierce?
I just know her. Never really talked to her, but just know who she is.
What do you know her relationship to be with Bill Flynn?
I don't.
Do you know the defendant?
Yes,
And what's her name?
Pam Smart.
Is she in the courtroom?
Yes,
Please point her out, please. How do you know the defendant?
I've seen her at school. I've seen her with Bill, and I've seen her at my house a couple of times.
What circumstances did you see her with Bill?
Usually walking down the hall, or when she was dropping him off.
Walking down the hall in school?
Yes.
And where did she drop him off?
At my house.
What did you see when she dropped him off?
Usually she'd pull down in the driveway, and she never really pulled all the way in. She'd come halfway down, stop. Bill would get out and kiss her goodbye, and that was it.
How many times did you see Bill kiss her goodbye?
About 3 or 4 times.
Did Bill ever tell you what his relationship was with the defendant?
He said he was in love with her.
When did he tell you that?
I don't remember.
Do you remember if it was the winter or the spring?
It was like halfway through the school year in the locker room that he.
These conversations took place in the locker room.
Yes.
And did he tell you whether or not she was in love with him?
I don't recall.
Did he tell you if they were having any kind of relationship beyond him just having feelings for her?
He had said that he had had sex with her and that he was going to spend the weekend with her because Gregg was going away.
Let me call your attention to Saturday night on June 9th at 11:30. Where were you that night?
In the Latamie's house.
Where in the Latamie's house were you?
I was in the living room and I had walked into JR's bedroom and I wanted to talk to them about something that I had heard earlier.
Let me just ask you to give a sense of where JR's bedroom is located in relation to the living room in the Latamie's house.
They're like side by side.
And what was it that you had heard earlier that you wanted to ask them about?
My cousin, Danny Blake, had came up to me on a bicycle and he had said, if I was Bill, I'd punch Raymond's face in. And I asked him why. And he said, for Raymond going around shooting his mouth off about killing that guy.
Now, when did that conversation with Mr. Blake take place?
It was the same day, but it was like earlier. It was light out.
Where were you?
Right in the driveway of Latamie's house. I was working on my car.
Now, between the time you spoke with Danny Blake and when you, at 11:30 that we were talking about when you went into the bedroom, did you see JR, Bill Flynn, or Patrick Randall?
No, I did not.
When you approached the bedroom to ask what you wanted to ask, was the door open or closed to JR's bedroom?
The first time, I'm not sure.
Tell me what happens when you enter the room.
The first time I went in, I had just asked them what Danny had said to me. I told them where I had heard it from. And they just said, no, we didn't have nothing to do with that. And I had walked out of the bedroom and the door was shut then.
Let me stop you for a moment. Was that the extent of your conversations with them? You asked them if it was
Basically,
true
yeah.
and they denied it?
Yeah.
Did they both deny it or just one of them?
I don't remember.
What happens after you leave the bedroom?
I had walked to my bedroom, which is down the hallway, and I had like tiptoed back up to JR's bedroom door
Why did you tiptoe back up?
so they wouldn't hear me out there.
Now, why did you want them to hear you and why did you return to the room?
Because I figured if they did have anything to do with it, that they would have talked about it after I had left. If they known I wasn't there to hear them.
Now, they had denied it to you. Why did you feel a need to go back and listen surreptitiously, secretly to the conversation?
Just curiosity, I guess.
Who else was in the trailer in the house that night?
JR's parents, they were sleeping,
What's
and
their name?
Vance and Diane Latamie.
Where is their bedroom located in relation to where JR's room is?
There's the kitchen separates them, sort of like on an angle, and then their room's like the end room of the trailer.
So there's a room, at least one room that separates JR's room from his parents' room.
Yes,
In your experience, if someone's in JR's room talking, can somebody in JR's parents' bedroom hear them if they were talking in normal tones of voice?
no.
Right, now you tiptoed back, you said, what happened after that?
I had heard in a whispering voice. I don't know who said it. I had just heard, Bill's gonna be pissed. Yeah, you know who's gonna be next.
And when you heard that, Bill's gonna be pissed, you know who's gonna be next, what did you do?
I burst into the room, and that I knew at that second that they had done it. And I burst into the room, and I was like wrestling with Pete.
Now, how were you wrestling with Pete?
He was laying down, and I had just jumped on him. And I just asked him why he didn't tell me before.
Now, were you attacking Pete or were you fooling around?
Just fooling around.
How long did that horseplay last for?
Just a few seconds.
You asked Pete why he didn't tell you before, what did he say?
I don't remember what he said.
Tell me what happened after the horseplay stopped.
Well, it ended up Pete saying, come in, and I'll tell you the whole story. And I had come in, and Pete shut the door. And myself, Pete, and Jeff were in the room. So we all sat down on the beds. There was 2 beds in the room. They were like touching each other.
And how, were you facing each other or were you just talking to one of them?
It was like sort of in like a triangle form. So we were all facing each other, really.
How many of you were involved in the conversation that followed?
Pete did most of the talking. JR just really sat there, he's like nodding his head, fill in a few things.
So when Pete was talking, JR was listening,
Yes,
vice versa.
yes.
Okay, so tell me what Pete told you.
He had said that him, meaning Pete, JR, Bill and Raymond, had went to Derry. And that Pete and Bill had entered Gregory's house. They didn't tell me how, they just said that they went in. And that Raymond and JR had waited in the car. And Pete said they piled a bunch of stereo equipment up by the door. And he said that they put the dog in the cellar. And then he said that Gregg had entered. But I didn't know if he meant the room that they were in from another room or the house altogether. And he said that Gregg had tried to run out, and they grabbed him and pulled him back in. And
What happened after they pulled him back in?
Pete said that he had his fingers tangled up in Gregg's hair, and he made him get on his knees. And he had mentioned something about one of his own knives, one of Gregg's own knives, but I don't remember exactly what he said about it. And he said that Bill had shot him in the head, and that Gregg didn't even see it coming.
Did he tell you where Bill shot Gregg in the head?
He just said it in the head.
Did he tell you where he was located, where Bill was located when he shot Gregg in the head?
He said behind Gregory.
Did he specify the position behind, or did he just say?
He just said that he was where Gregg didn't even see it coming.
Did they tell you how they had gotten to Derry that night?
No. I figured that they had Jazz grandmother's car because around the time he had the car. But they didn't say whether they took that or not.
Did they tell you who drove the car?
JR had drove and got the gun.
JR drove and got the gun. Who told you that?
JR had said it.
Now, you said that they told you that they piled stuff up. Did they tell you why they piled stuff up in the house?
Pete had said to make it look like a burglary.
Did they tell you where they were waiting, JR and Raymond Fowler were waiting in the car?
He just said it in the car.
Now, as your friends told you this, what was your response to it?
I sort of couldn't believe it. I really didn't want to, but I sort of shocked, sick that they could do something like that. When I'd grown up with them. And Pete had said something about money. He said that Gregg was worth more dead than alive.
And you said, I'm not sure I could have heard you. You said you were shocked and kind of sick, and then you said something about growing up. I didn't hear that.
Excuse me?
You said something about growing up with them? What did you say?
Yeah, I had grown up with them, and I couldn't believe that my best friends had actually killed somebody.
said that he was worth more dead than alive. What were you talking about? What led to that?
He had said that Pam was going to collect $140,000 in insurance.
And the statement, he's worth more dead than alive, was spoken about at the same time, talking about $140,000 insurance that
Yes.
Smart was going to collect. Did you ask at all why your friends had done this?
Pete was going to get $500. And when he said that, Jad held up his hand. He says, "How do you think I got these?"
What was JR pointing to?
A pair of Kenwood truck speakers.
And had you ever seen those speakers before?
Just the day they carried them in.
Tell me where the speakers were located when you pointed to them.
He has like this wooden stand that he made out of like an old cabinet. And they were sitting right on top of that, side by side, in between the two windows in his bedroom.
Show me, Ralph, how Mr. Latamy demonstrated to you what speakers he was talking about.
He just said, "How do you think I got these?" Held up his hand.
And near his hand were those speakers.
Yes.
Now, you said that you saw him the day that you brought him in the bedroom. What else did you see that?
So going back to what, hold on, I gotta scroll up. What Old Soul said, I agree, 100% agree. It is very wild that they're just openly talking about it. And then on top of that, shows the speakers that, they took from the house that Billy Flynn yesterday and the day before when we did his testimony, that also talked about. It's like, why, if you're trying not to get caught, why in the world would you talk about this so openly and then show evidence regarding something that you took from the house where an unaliving happened? Like, that's just, of course you're going to get caught. Like, it's just, blows my mind. And no, Old Soul, he's joking. She's fine. She didn't fall. I keep telling the chat that she's missing and probably stuck in a dungeon somewhere, being yelled at to put the lotion on the skin, or she's gonna get the hose again. That's a complete joke. They're actually doing a little remodeling in their house and her studio and stuff. They're replacing the floor. But when they were taking all the desk and stuff out, there was I think it's a credenza or something that had actually gotten away from them and going down the stairs. So it left a nice gash in the drywall, but I guess that's a real fast way to get it down the stairs. Is just drop it. All righty, we'll keep going.
Pam had drove Gregg's black Toyota down the driveway, and Jad mentioned that he was taking the system out of the truck, and that Pam wanted the stereo for a car, and he had said that he was going to pay her so much at a time for the speakers because it wasn't working or anything, so he just said he's going to pay a little at a time.
When did that conversation take place? I assume before this conversation,
About 2 weeks
about 2 weeks before.
before June 9th.
Did you know anything about the involvement of your friends in the homicide when you had that conversation with JR about him paying the defendant for the speakers?
No.
Now, you also mentioned that Pete said that he was going to get $500. Did he say who he was going to get $500 from?
From Pam.
Did he say where the $500 was going to come from?
No.
I'm going to show you one of a pair of speakers that's been marked States Exhibit 42A. Can you tell me if you've ever seen this speaker before?
Yes,
And where have you seen it?
those are the ones that are in Jad's room.
And these are the speakers that JR pointed to when he said, how do you think I got these? tone of voice with Patrick Randall when he was relating to you what he did on May 1st?
Normal.
Normal. Okay. And how did you feel about that?
I guess I still couldn't believe it.
You couldn't believe that he was talking in a normal tone of voice about
That it didn't even bother him that they had killed somebody.
And what was JR's tone of voice when he was telling you about getting the speakers from the defendant?
Normal.
Okay, what did you say in response to all of this?
We ended up outside in the driveway off to the side.
Why did you end up outside?
I wasn't feeling, I wanted air. And I don't know, we just ended up out there.
Who ended up outside?
All three of us, me, Pete, and JR. And I had asked,
Right, what did you do outside?
I'd asked him how they could do something like this. And Pete was like, "That's what they do in the Army. People do it every day." When he grew up, he wanted to be a hired assassin, but he was like saying it sarcastically.
And what else did he say during that conversation?
He said, me and Bill said our Hail Marys before we did it.
And other than that he wanted to be in the Army and that's what they do in the Army, did he say anything else about why?
He said that Gregg was an asshole. He treated Pam like shit.
Anything else?
He just said that earlier that he was worth more dead than alive.
So that comment he made outside.
Yes.
After you go outside and you talk some more to Mr. Randall and Van Slatamy, what happens after that?
Jared asked me what I was gonna do. And I had told him I didn't know what I was gonna do. And I said, "Well, what are you gonna do if I do tell?" And he had said, "We'll be out of here like that."
JR said this.
Yes.
And what happened after he said that?
I don't remember exactly what happened right after that.
Hold on, I gotta pause real quick. Thank you also. I don't know if my mom, I think she's listening while she's doing the remodel. So, Mom, also she said she's got $10 on the remodel. Thank you so much. Gabby, I think there was speculation that she was sleeping with more than just Billy, but I don't ever know. I don't know if that was ever like confirmed. And I'm not sure. Puddletown. Yes, yes, stay in school, kids, or this will happen to you. But maybe not that one with that teacher, because now you see what happens. But again, thank you so much, Old Soul. And then to Flashman who sent one super chat earlier, Bride Bear who sent a super chat earlier. We appreciate it so much. Thank you again.
What was your emotional condition outside?
I was pretty upset.
Visibly upset. Right. After the conversation ends with Patrick Randall and Van Slatamy, what do?
I had gotten in my car and left from the Latamy's house
Where'd you go?
to the old fire station, which is right up the street.
After you get to the fire station, what do?
I had left my car there, and I had walked to my father's house
Why'd you go to your father's house?
to get $5 off him for gas.
Where were you going?
I was gonna go find Raymond
Where was Raymond?
in Maine.
When you got $5 from gas from your father, did you see anything?
When I had come out of the house, Pete and J.I. had come by on a motorcycle, and they had come by my father's house real slow. And they went to like 2 driveways down, and they had turned around, and they had come back by real slow.
Why did you park at the fire station rather than parking right at your house?
I just figured they wouldn't know where I was. I didn't want them following me around.
And by they, who do you mean?
Pete and JR.
After you get the money from your father, where do you go from there?
I didn't know how to get to where Raymond was staying, and I knew Danny knew where it was. So I went down to the clam house, because usually everybody hangs out there, and he was there. And I told him that I needed directions to get to where Raymond was staying.
Okay.
So he ended up just getting in the car, and we drove up there.
So you and Danny Blake, does anyone else drive up with you?
No.
And Danny knows the way to Raymond's house?
Yes.
What happens in the car on the way from Seabrook to Raymond's house?
I just remember Danny showing me all the directions.
Do you recall the conversation you had with Danny in the car on the way up?
No,
Where does Raymond live in Maine? Do you know the town?
no.
Okay, at some point you arrive at Raymond's, what happens then?
We had knocked on the door, and some girl answered the door. And we'd asked if Raymond was there. She said, yeah, he was sleeping. And we said we had to see him. So we went in, and she showed us what bedroom he was in. So we went in there, woke him up. And I had told him what I had just heard them say about, what's going to be next.
Without going into the conversation with Raymond, what do you do after you speak with Raymond?
I had went back, Danny had got off at his house. And then I had went back to the Latimie's. I had went into my bedroom. And I just remember being woken up by JR the next morning.
Let me go back for just a moment. What was your reason for going up to see Raymond Fowler?
To tell him what I had just heard and to find out if he had known about what they said.
Why did you want to tell him what you had heard?
They want to see another person dead.
You were concerned that Raymond Fowler might get hurt.
Yes.
Okay, so you go back to the Latimie's that night. What do? You go to bed?
I sat up for a while, and I guess I must have fell asleep because I remember JR waking me up.
What time did you get back to the Latimie's that night, do you think?
I don't have no idea.
Was it in the morning hours at that point, do you think?
It was dark. It was still dark out. I didn't have any idea what time it was.
So after you get up in the morning, you're woken up by JR, what happens?
He had said that my father wanted to see me. And I went out to the driveway, and my father was there. And he asked me something, and I couldn't even remember what it was that he had asked me.
How long was the conversation with your father?
Probably a minute.
And after the conversation with your father, what do you do next?
I had went back into the house, and I went into the bedroom, and I had told Pete that I didn't want him or Bill around, and I told JR that.
Why didn't you want Pete and Bill and JR around?
I didn't say JR, I just said Pete and Bill, because they had killed somebody, and there was a baby in the house, and I didn't think it was right for him to be around the baby.
Did you tell them that?
Yes.
Was Bill there when you were saying this?
No.
So who is it that you spoke these words to?
JR and Pete.
And tell me exactly what you said to Pete.
That's what I said. I just said I didn't want him around the house anymore. And he got all upset, started swearing.
And what happens?
We went outside, and we were just walking up the driveway, and we were arguing and stuff.
Why'd you go outside?
He said, if you want to go outside, I'll go outside right now. And he ended up outside, and we were just walking and arguing all the way up the driveway.
And what happened?
Then when we got to the top of the driveway, I grabbed his shirt, and I said, you're not going to come around here anymore. And he punched me a few times in the face, and then he had got behind me. He was strangling me, and then we fell down. I hit my head on a rock, and when I had gotten up, Pete let me up. When I had gotten up, JR was standing there crying, and that was about it. They had left.
When you grabbed Pete, why did you do that?
To push him, just get him out of there.
So you wanted him off the property, you were gonna push him off.
Yes.
Did Pete touch you before that?
No.
So after you pushed him to get off the property, he swung at you.
Yes.
Did you have any injuries?
Just a scar on my head, and a black eye.
Why was JR crying?
I don't know.
After this fight, what did you do?
I had went in and told Vance and Diane everything that I knew, and that they had, in the conversation, JR had said that he used one of his father's guns. And I had asked him, what they do if they found the gun. And JR said it's all been taken care of, we've cleaned it. And so I had told Vance all about it, that they had used his gun and stuff.
When did the conversation with JR take place where he told you that they had cleaned the gun?
I think that was the next morning.
The morning of the fight was when?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. What did Mr. Latimer Sr. do in response to the information that you gave?
He had went into his bedroom.
What did he do in his bedroom?
I don't know. He shut the door behind him.
And then after he went in his bedroom, what did you do?
I remember sitting on the couch, and I think Diane called up and said that she had some information about it. And she told me that I had to go to the police, and I said, I know.
Who did Diane call up?
I don't know.
What was your emotional condition right now?
Really upset.
And then after Diane makes this phone call and tells you you have to go to the police, what do?
She said something like they weren't going to be there until like 3. So I had went to my father's house, and then I had went to my girlfriend's house so I could let her know why I wasn't going to be there.
Who's your girlfriend?
Michelle Goff.
Where's she live?
She's been staying with me now, but she did live in Northampton.
So at the time you went to your girlfriend's, you went to Northampton.
Yes.
Why'd you go to your girlfriend's?
Just to let her know that I wasn't going to be able to come down later and stuff.
Excuse me. What happened with your girlfriend's?
Michelle's father had come in and said that you get a phone call from a guy named Bill, do you want it? And I said, yeah, I'll take it. And he's like really nervous and stuff. And he had asked me what I had said, who I told and stuff. And I told him that I told the truth. And he kept asking me where I was going to be. He wanted me to meet him someplace, said we had to talk. And I could hear like somebody whispering. And it sounded like somebody was like whispering to him. And I had asked if Pete and Bill were there. And he said they were there earlier, but they had left. And then he was saying if Pam finds out, she'll kill me. She meant everything to him, that he didn't want to lose her. And he had said that she was there, but not where she could hear him talking on the phone.
What did he say?
Excuse me?
What did he say about her being there?
He said she was in the other room.
What did Bill mean, or what did you take him to mean when he said that the defendant was going to kill him?
Just sarcastically, I didn't think of it as kill.
Okay, figure of speech.
Yes.
And when Bill said wasn't the truth, what did you think about that? Did you believe him?
It just kept saying, I didn't do it. I wouldn't do anything like that. I says, I know you did do it.
After this phone conversation, then what did you do?
Well, I hung out, and then a few minutes later, Diane had called me and told me that we had to go to the police station now. So I had went back, and me and my father had driven over to the police station with Diane and Vance Latimer.
Had you agreed to meet Bill Flynn?
No,
So you go over to the police station, what happens there?
I had went in with Vance at first, and then he waited out front, and he just said, don't worry about it. And I had went in, and one of the, I think it was a detective from Derry, questioned me We videotaped it.
I'm gonna stop for just a second because I get so nervous I'm gonna get like a copyright or something. What a crappy thing to put your friend in the middle of. That's not what you do as a friend. I mean, you know, I guess good thing that they did say something because so they were caught. There's consequences for your actions. But I would like I feel bad for him and Sarah Thomas who testified right before him because they have to get like all the details and then now they have to go turn everybody in. Yeah, it's just don't do that. That's not a good friend. But also I do want to go through again and say thank you for the super chats. There's one that I was gonna with Let's Go. I literally got this up here just for you. And you're right. As long as AJ keeps punching holes in the wall, we can keep drinking. So thank you. Thank you guys so much for the super chat. So Flash Fan, Bright Bear, Old Soul, Puddletown, Gabby, and Let's Go. I really, really appreciate it. And then I'm gonna have my mom cut me a check because I was one streaming. Just kidding. All right, let's keep going.
Anything else?
We take a short recess now. Pardon? Take a short recess. Morning, Ralph.
Well,
How you doing?
pretty good.
Ralph, you grew up basically with these other three kids, Pete, JR, and Bill. See,
Mostly mostly Pete and Chad.
right. But I mean, you come from the same community, right?
Excuse me?
You come from the same community, same town.
Yes.
I mumble sometimes, Ralph. If you don't hear my questions or understand them, do just what you did then. Ask me to say it again, okay?
Yep.
I'll try and keep my voice up. You went to the same schools as these kids?
Yes.
Lived in the same neighborhood?
Yes.
Had mostly the same kind of friends, right?
Usually it was just us.
Okay. You hang around with them, they hang around with you.
Yeah.
Same gang of guys, right?
Yes.
You're not a goody two shoes. I mean, you're not a little angel. You don't walk around with a halo over you, do you?
No.
When these kids came in and told you what they did, you knew that was wrong.
Yes.
You didn't have to stop and think about it. You didn't spend 2 months thinking about whether it's right or wrong to kill a human being.
No.
Immediately in your mind, you tell the jury what your reaction, how'd you feel when you got when these young men told you what they did?
Sick.
Now, as I understand it, this day, it's June 8th or 9th, sometime around there.
9th, yes.
9th, okay. As I understand it, you go over there because you've heard that followers saying Bill killed somebody. You confront them, and they say to you, what's their reaction? When you accuse them of murder, what do they say to you?
They said no.
And they say it more than once, no, 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 don't they?
Yeah, they said other stuff, but I can't really recall exact words.
And even though they're your friends, and they tell you that they didn't do this awful, terrible, atrocious thing, you don't just accept their word for it, right?
Well, I didn't, but they thought I did.
They thought you did, right? Well, what you did is you walked outside and pretended to leave and walked back to see what they said when they're all by themselves and there's no one else listening.
Yes.
You recognize that what they say when they're all by themselves might be a little bit different from what they say when other people are listening.
Yes.
And in fact, JR, you've had occasions, old JR, when you'd sit there and watch JR do something like pick up these earphones and minute later, you or someone else would say, JR, did you pick up the earphones or whatever? They do something right in front of you, know you were watching, and a minute later, they just lie to you about it.
Sort of.
Right. Well, you told me that originally, right? The last time we talked, did you tell me something?
I never said nothing.
No, not
like
about
that.
earphones, I'm sorry.
Uh,
Tell the jury what you told me before about JR lying.
I never classed him as a liar. I never called him a liar. I just, like, if he did something that would, like, embarrass himself or something, he won't admit to it.
You won't admit to it, even if he did it right in front of you.
Yes,
Right. He could tell you he didn't do it, even if you saw it.
yes.
That's what I meant. Now, the prosecutor asked you about when Billy, partway through the school year, and I think he said the best you can remember right now was halfway through the school year, he told you he had a relationship with Pamela Smart. Do you
Yes.
remember that? But if you think back, way back to the fall of the year, he was, before he had a relationship, or said he had a relationship, he was talking about Pamela Smart back then too, wasn't he?
Yes.
He was saying stuff like, she's hot, right?
Yes.
He didn't just say that once, he said it several times to you.
Yes.
At one point in time, he told you that her husband was an asshole.
Yes.
Now, when you go out of that room and little Vance and little Pete think they're all alone, they think you're gone and not listening, what did they say? I'll start with little Vance. Vance and Pete think they're all alone, they think no ears are there. What did you hear them say?
Bill's gonna be pissed. Yeah, you know who's gonna be next.
Okay, two sentences. Bill's gonna be pissed. Yeah, you know who's next.
Who's going to be next?
Who's going to be next. Is that the same voice saying both of those, or is that a conversation going back? If you know.
It was a whispering voice, and I
Okay.
don't recall who said it.
Oh. But you sure they said, Bill's gonna be pissed? Sure
Yeah,
about
you
that?
know who's gonna be next.
You know who's gonna be next. Now, who did you think they meant was gonna be next when they said that?
Raymond Fowler.
Okay, what did you think gonna be next meant?
Excuse me?
What did you think they meant by gonna be next?
They would kill him so he wouldn't say anything more.
Now, when they're in that room, you come back in, and basically you've heard them say these things, and you go back in and you sort of confront them again,
Yes.
right? At any point in that time, did they tell you that Pam planned this whole thing?
No, they didn't talk about any plans at all.
Did they ever tell you that Pam, on a ride to Haverhill, went over the fine details of this
No.
murder? Did any one of those kids ever say Pam asked them to do it?
No, they said Pam was gonna pay him.
What they said was they were gonna get some insurance money, right?
They didn't say whether it was out of the insurance money or Pete said he was gonna get 500 and Raymond was gonna get 500.
Okay, they didn't tell you that Pam had told them that, did they?
I don't know if Pam told him, but he had said from Pam.
They didn't, listen to me. Did they at any point tell you that Pam had said anything to them about killing her husband?
They didn't say she said anything. The only thing they said about Pam was that she was gonna pay him
Right,
$500.
They didn't tell you whether Pam had said that to them or whether Bill Flynn had said it to them.
They didn't say who said it. That's
Right.
exactly what they said, that Pam was gonna pay him $500.
Did they ever say that Pam wanted them to use a gun instead of a knife?
No.
Now, when they talked to you, what they said about how it happened, they said that Bill was behind Greg when he shot him, right?
He said that he didn't exactly say Bill was behind him. He said he was where he didn't see the gun at all. He said that Greg didn't even see it coming.
Okay, on direct, you did use the word behind. Is that just the way you were using to describe what he said?
Basically, yes.
Now, Now, they told you that they piled up all the stuff to look like a burglary, correct?
Yes.
They didn't say we piled up all the stuff to look like a burglary the way Pam told us, did they?
No, he just said to make it look like a burglary.
Now, you talked a little bit about, at some point, it was Pete, but tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Since one of these young men said something about saying a Hail Mary. Remember that?
Yes.
Can you tell us, take that, think about what happened then, and tell us what was going on when you talked about saying the Hail Mary?
He had just said, we said our Hail Marys before we done it, meaning him and Bill.
Did he say it in a bragging tone?
It wasn't, it's more of a sarcastic tone. More of a sarcastic tone.
He was being sarcastic.
Yeah, so
So
I
you
don't know exactly how to explain it. Yes.
As he was talking to you, at some point in time, did you think he was bragging?
In a way, it's like a few things that he said.
He told you something about, what's the big deal, people kill in the army all the time or something like that?
Yes.
He told you he wanted to be in the army someday to kill.
He had mentioned something about being a hired assassin.
And he indicated in some form that that was something he wanted to be.
Yes,
Person paid money to kill other human beings.
yes.
After all this is over, I don't mean it's all over, let me get to, after they're done telling you, bragging, talking about their feats and exploits, you said something to them about, what are you gonna do to me, or something like that?
I said, I asked them, I said, what are you going to do, kill me? And they had said, no.
You asked your friends if they were gonna kill you,
Yes.
and you weren't joking around at that point in time, were you?
No, there's no joking.
Now, this evening wasn't the first time you've ever heard anybody, as you think back now. Prior to this evening, you'd heard one of these kids talk about doing Gregg Smart before, hadn't you?
Yes.
Okay, could you tell the people in the jury who you heard prior to this evening, prior to Gregg Smart's death, talk about doing Gregg Smart?
I was going into the Latimie's house and Bill was coming off of the steps. And he was like laughing and joking around about it. And he had said, oh, we're going to go do Gregg. And he had mentioned that it's going to take Pam's car, something like that.
Now, this is Bill Flynn, right?
Excuse me? Bill Flynn or Bill Lynn? Oh, I thought you said Bill.
I'm sorry, Bill Flynn.
Yes.
Before Gregg's dead, laughing and joking and telling you in a joking way that he's going to take Pam's car to Gregg Smart.
Yes.
He wasn't overcome with grief, as he told you this, was he?
No, he was like joking around. He was laughing. That's why I didn't take him seriously.
Was he laughing so hard there were tears coming out of his eyes?
No,
Were there any tears coming out of his eyes?
no.
Were there any tears on June 9th? June 9th. Month and 9 days after Gregg Smart's dead, was Vance Lattermy overcome with remorse and grief when he talked about it?
No.
How about Pete?
No.
Now, at some point in time, you took part in breaking with these kids at a storage center.
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor, will you approach?
I'm going to start to ask you about, at some point in time, you were along with these guys and they broke into a storage shed, and I'd like you to think about that for a moment, okay? Okay. When Raymond and Pete were in a storage shed, is it true that they wouldn't come out for a long time, they kept looking for something in particular?
Yes, there was one bin that they were in.
I'm sorry.
There was one storage bin that they were in.
Okay, so once, think about that storage bin, that they were looking for something in particular, and then insisted on staying until they found it. What was it they were looking for?
Well, at first they had found bullets. They found all assortment of bullets, and they had said, "Oh, there's got to be a gun in here. There's got to be a gun in here." And they were like digging through the bin. They had it. I don't know. They just thought for sure that there was a gun in there. I had left them. I didn't stay at that bin.
Now, you at the top, I'm going to take it back to where we're talking to us. At some point in time, you have a scuffle fight with Pete, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you told us a little bit about that. You said Pete was strangling you.
Yes.
Okay. You said you fell, and when you punched you in the head, right?
Excuse me?
He punched you in the head.
While we were standing up, yes.
Right. If I get them out of order, put them in order, okay? You punched you hard enough so you had a black eye, right?
Yes. Well, I don't know if it was more up along here. So I don't know if that would have been from the rock. Or I would imagine it's from the punch, yes.
Now, when you hit the rock, did you lose consciousness for a moment?
I remember just like going black for a second. I don't know if I just shut my eyes or what, but I just remember coming through and he was still strangling me, and then he let me out.
After you came out of whatever it was, going black, and you came out, he's still strangling you, right?
Yeah, for a few seconds, yes.
Now, at some point in time, you go up and see Mr. Fowler, correct?
Yes.
And that's to warn him that these guys might kill him.
And to find out if just what he had to say about it.
Right. But one of your purposes is because you're afraid that he's the one they meant by, you know, who's going to be next.
Yes.
Later on, you get a call from Bill, right?
Yes.
You know, in that call, Bill tells you a few things. He says, if Pam finds out about this, he's going to kill me.
Yes.
He also said something to the effect, if Pam finds out about this, she'll never speak to me again.
Yes.
He said, if she leaves me, I'll kill myself.
Yes.
Now, when he told you that stuff, he told you, first of all, that Vance and Pete weren't there, right?
Yes.
But you did hear some whispering.
I could hear somebody whispering, yes.
Okay. But he did tell you that Pam was in another room or upstairs or something to that effect, right?
Yeah, well, she couldn't hear him on the phone.
And as he was talking to you on that phone, he was keeping his voice down. Even though he was excited, he was keeping his voice down, wasn't he?
There was certain parts where it was like his voice, you could hear it squeaking, but yes, it wasn't that loud.
As he talked to you, he sounded desperate, didn't he?
Yes.
He sounded desperate that Pam shouldn't find out about this.
That nobody should find out about it.
But what he said to you was,
If Pam finds out, yes.
If Pam finds out about this, she'll never speak to me again.
Yes.
He tried to get you in that phone conversation. He tried to get you to come meet him somewhere, didn't he?
Yes.
And you, Billy Flynn. Did you say, Bill, yeah, I'll be right over there and meet you?
No.
Okay, did you go meet him?
No.
Did you tell the people in the jury why, Billy Flynn, your friend, why you wouldn't go meet him that night?
Because I figured they'd probably try to do something to me, probably like kill me or something.
What you thought was your friend Bill Flynn was talking to you on the phone and saying, please, Ralph, and nice, come on over, let's talk over. You thought that he was setting you up, lying to you, in order to get you in a place where he could kill you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I mean, I see Ralph's point. Billy had just like they all just went and said, "Hey, I did this. Here's a speaker that we took from the house," and now wants to go meet up with. I'm not meeting up with you. You just told me that you want to live somebody. I don't. And now, like, I could go tell the police and put you in jail. I'm not meeting up with you at all. But on a completely different note, that mullet is it's it's something else. We got just a couple more minutes on this one, and then we're gonna switch over to the next person, which is Robert Halvorson. He's the one that has the FBI tape recording.
Ralph, in that conversation before you went to visit Raymond Fowler, did either Pete or JR verbally threaten him? Directly?
No,
Other than the comment that you overheard, did they say they were going to physically do anything to harm him?
no,
At any time during that night, when you were talking with Pete and JR, did they physically threaten you?
no,
At any time during that night, did they verbally threaten you?
no.
When you said that you might go to the police, what am I supposed to do about this? Did they say that they'd kill you or do anything like that if you did tell on them?
No, JR had just said that you don't have to do anything about it.
Did you ever specifically ask Pete or JR in that conversation who was involved in the planning of the homicide?
No,
Basically, what they told you about was what happened on May 1st in the house during the killing, right?
yes,
When they talked to you about Pam paying them $500 or paying Pete $500, did you say, what else did Pamela Smart do?
no,
Were you asking them a lot of questions while they were doing this? Were you interrogating them?
no.
Why not?
I really don't know. What they had told me, I sort of shocked, I guess.
So you weren't asking lots of questions?
No.
Did you ask them about a weapon choice? Whether they had ever thought about using a knife or thought
No.
about using the storage bin that defense counsel asked you about? Do you have any idea whether that was before or after the homicide?
I have no idea.
Did anyone ever tell you that they were looking for a gun to kill somebody?
No. They just said that there's got to be a gun in here. That was it.
Was it unusual for your friends to be interested in firearms?
No,
So long before you heard anything about the homicide, there were times that you and your friends had used guns for hunting, for target shooting, that kind of thing.
yes,
With the fight that you had with Pete outside, why did he let you up?
excuse me?
Why did Pete let you up during that
I
fight?
can't, he did or didn't.
Why did he?
I have no idea.
Did he do it on his own?
Yes,
Were you fighting back, Ralph?
no,
When you spoke with Bill on the phone, and you said defense counsel said he kept his voice down, was he whispering?
no,
Is Bill a louder guy?
not really.
And what was his tone of voice? And what was his emotional state when he was talking to you on the telephone?
He was scared. I never really heard him like that before in my life.
He was scared. When you talked about Pam finds out about this, she'll kill me or I'll kill myself. Do you know what he meant by this? Did you define this for you?
I'm gonna object, Your Honor, to speculation. The second part of the question is okay, but no, that's all right.
All right. Did he define for you what he meant by this?
No,
Was Bill being honest with you in that conversation about whether he killed Gregory Smart or not?
Objection, Your Honor. Oh, wait.
Did Bill admit, oh, no. Did Bill admit to you whether he killed Gregory Smart or not,
No,
ever during that conversation?
no.
Now, when Bill was talking with you and asking you where you were, did he specifically threaten you?
No.
Thank you.
Just a couple more questions. Sick of lawyers yet, by the way?
Excuse me?
Sick of lawyers yet?
Don't bother me with it.
You've been asked more questions than anyone else, not in this trial, but the whole case. Testified at certification hearings, given depositions, not just us, but each one of the boys' lawyers, right?
Yes. Well, no. Only JR's lawyers.
Okay, JR's lawyers, but you did testify also at these other hearings.
Yes.
You told the same thing every time, right?
Basically, yes.
Now, the prosecutor just asked you some questions about why did Pete let you up, right? And he's down there strangling you,
He wasn't using his hands. This part is not.
up like this?
Yes.
From behind, sort of?
Yes.
Anyway, the prosecutor asked the question, why did he let you up? Was that in like a closed place, like a room where nobody could see what was going on, where this was going on?
No. The place was pretty open.
Right, there's neighbors there, aren't there, around there?
There's one house real close, but I didn't see any other people around.
Okay, what I meant by this, there's another house or houses right around.
Yes.
And if anyone had been looking out their window, they would have, if Pete had continued to kill you, they would have seen him, right?
If somebody looked, yes.
Objection. No testimony about Pete trying to kill him.
And during this regard.
Where was it that they wanted you to meet him later on? When they tried to
It was
meet him?
Bill that was doing the talking on the phone. I didn't even speak with the other boys, but he didn't say where. He just kept asking me where to meet him and where I was going to be.
Did he suggest to you some park near the ball field behind the school or something like that?
Not that I recall.
Okay. No, he just told the prosecutor that they didn't threaten Ralph. There was no direct express threats, as in I'm going to kill Ralph Fowler. Okay? That's
Excuse me? Ralph Fowler.
I'm sorry, Raymond Fowler. Okay. They did say, you know who's going to be next, right?
Yes.
And they were, as you talked to them, acting very bizarrely, right? In the sense that,
Which time you?
okay, back in the room, okay? In the room, when they're talking to you, the two times you talk to them in the room, one they say they deny it, and the second time they tell you about it, okay?
Yes.
During those times they're talking to you, they're not acting like normal human, law-abiding citizens, are they?
They were talking normal. They weren't really acting any different from what I did.
But they were talking to you about something very abnormal, weren't they? About killing a human being.
Yes.
And their tone of voice was normal. They bragged a little, right?
Yes.
But that's odd, isn't it?
Yes.
You were terrified of that, weren't you?
Yes.
And you heard those people who did talk that way. You heard them say, you know who's going to be next.
I had heard the whispering voice. You know who's going to be next.
Right. That's what made you think.
That Raymond would be next.
Thank you.
I have no more questions.
That's answered, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that wraps up their testimony. We're going to go to the next one. Let me get that pulled up real quick. I said this will be Robert Halvorson. He says his name, so if I'm pronouncing it wrong, my apologies to him. Hey, this one actually has closed captions. Nice. So, alrighty, make sure I share my screen this time like I did the first time when I started streaming. And let's get going. This is like about 43 minutes or so. Then that will wrap up for today. And then, like I said earlier, we will hear from Detective Daniel Peltier, or however you say his last name. That should be the only one we hear from tomorrow because his testimony is pretty long. Since this is a new one, if I need to adjust anything,
Morning.
no.
In a nice, clear voice, would you please repeat your name and spell your last name for the benefit of the stenographer?
My name is Robert Halvorson. Halvorson.
Mr. Halvorson, by whom are you employed?
I'm a self-employed engineer working and I reside in Essex, Connecticut.
When you say you're a self-employed engineer, what is your particular specialty?
My particular specialty is tape recording, and currently I'm a contractor for the FBI.
And when you say you are a contractor with the FBI, what do you mean by you are with a contract with the FBI?
I have a contractual relationship with the FBI whereby I accept assignments by the FBI to enhance tapes that they receive in evidence.
How long have you been on contract with the FBI?
Since I moved to Connecticut in April of '89.
Prior to moving to Connecticut in April of 1989, let me ask, is that when you started your own business?
No, I actually started my business back in 1968, earlier when we lived in Maryland.
And just prior to 1989, were you in your own business?
Prior to April 1989, I was a full-time employee at the FBI.
When you were a full-time employee with the FBI, what were you doing? What unit were you assigned to?
I was assigned to the tape processing unit, and I was engaged in enhancing tapes at that time as a full-time examiner.
And when did you begin your work with the FBI as a full-time enhancer of tapes?
In January of 1986, so I was there as a full-time employee for about 3 years.
Can you give us a little bit about your educational and work background which led up to your working for the FBI?
I'm a graduate of the University of Minnesota with the degree of electrical engineering with distinction. And regarding the work background, it starts with World War II. I was a shipboard radio operator on merchant marine ships, sailing in the Pacific for about 3 years as a radio operator. And after the University of Minnesota, as a graduate engineer, I worked for the Westinghouse Electric Corporation in Baltimore and designed microwave radio relay systems at that time. In 1955, I transferred to the Collins Radio Company and became a systems engineer on the U.S. DEW line across northern Canada to protect the country against, it was a communication system joining radar sites, which were there to protect the country against bombers over the North Pole. And in 1960, we moved back to the Washington, D.C. area, and I worked for various manufacturers in application engineering and design jobs up until I formed my own company in '68.
And your own company dealt with what?
Pardon me?
What was your own company's business?
Tape recording.
Now, when you started working for the FBI, did you partake in any training?
My first year at the FBI was training, and I worked under the senior, most experienced tape examiner there, Mr. Bruce Coney. And he has nationwide reputation in this field.
And how long did this training last, and what did it involve?
The training lasted a year, and I did work under his tutelage, and I actually did the work, although he was responsible for the end results. And during that time, over a period of a year, I estimate that I handled the tapes involved in about 100 cases.
What is it about your work background which assists you in
your work at the FBI at that time? Which assisted you in your work at the FBI at that time?
Well, I think the previous training, formal education as an electrical engineer, and the 17 years from the time I formed my company in '68 until I joined the FBI, I was involved in tape recording. I can review some of the work I did during that period, if you wish.
As well. What were some of your clients?
The clients I had at that time were the IRS training tapes. We produced 10,000 training tapes a year for the IRS service centers around the country. There's one down in Andover, Massachusetts down here, and about 9 others. The purpose of these training tapes was to train computer operators to take the 1040 forms of all taxpayers in the country and translate that into the computer record keeping they had at the time. And since the forms changed every year, a new set of training had to come out each time. Another client was the Library of Congress. I assisted them in technical matters and remastering some of their volunteer-produced tapes for the blind. In 1974, I participated in a historic event with the Nixon White House tapes. I was asked by Peter Rodino, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, to join the House impeachment inquiry to assist the Congress, who was involved in an impeachment inquiry of Richard Nixon at that time. My job was to transcribe the tapes, recommend equipment, train others to transcribe the tapes. And I worked at that as a contract engineer for 5 months. And after Nixon resigned, I was asked to join Leon Jaworski, who was the special prosecutor and had the task of prosecuting the second Watergate trial. And I worked at that 5 months, essentially doing the same thing. And I played the tapes, the White House.
Dude, we're talking about Pam Smart, not Nixon and the Watergate. What does that have to do with anything? I know he's got to give some background, but come on now, like get to the point. This is like the guy that we saw last night. We're like, wow, that was completely pointless. So hopefully he gets to the point, because we're not here to talk about Watergate and Nixon. We're here to talk about Pam Smart. Goodness.
Tapes in Judge Circuit's courtroom, November and December of 1974.
When did you start your enhancement work?
The enhancement work really started with the FBI.
1986?
Yes, I mean, in earnest. We did some of that earlier, but we didn't have the equipment earlier that was available at the FBI.
Now, the equipment that was available at the FBI, well, after this 1 year of training, how long did you work full-time for the FBI doing enhancements?
Until I left, which was about 2 years later.
And during the time you would work for the FBI, how many cases would you work on a year?
About 100 cases a year, and each case on the average was 3 or 4 tapes. And so
My arithmetic is right for 300 to 400 tapes a year.
yes,
And how many tapes overall you say you've enhanced?
over the 3 years, including the training period, close to 1,000 I would estimate.
And what types? Well, let me back up. Have you ever testified in the court as an expert in the area of enhancement of tapes?
Yes, I have.
Your Honor, at this time I'd ask that Mr. Halvorson be declared an expert in the area of tape enhancement.
No objection at this point, Your Honor. All right.
Mr. Halvorson, what kind of tapes do you normally, or did you normally get involved in enhancing when you worked for the FBI?
These are generally surveillance tapes involved in criminal matters, often done under adverse circumstances where there is an informant in the service of the FBI who wears a microphone of one type or another and records a conversation with another person, and the record is put on tape, and oftentimes these tapes are very difficult to understand.
What do you mean by they're usually or sometimes recorded under adverse circumstances?
Well, the typical case is a recording made in a very noisy restaurant where they're doing this over a meal. The dishes are clattering. There's talk from adjacent tables and waitresses taking orders. And in general, it's the noise is at times is greater than the conversation you're trying to record.
Now, besides background noise, what other factors can affect a recording?
Well, it all winds up as background noise on the recording that you're interested in. And the contribution is made by electrical noise introduced during the transmission process. In the case of a radio, an FM radio link, where the informant wears a small transmitter and the signal is transmitted to a van close by, which has a receiver and a recorder there. The noise can be introduced in that radio link, electrical noise.
How is the electrical noise just interference? Is that a good term for it?
Static. It's the term is static, and at times it can be severe, at times not so bad. And in general, the tapes we get are the ones that are hard to understand.
And what is it about electricity or electrical interference that causes the static?
It's noise of all kinds. In the case of a telephone line, you can have telephone line hum. And we're all aware of situations where a telephone call is abandoned because of line noise of one kind or another. That's pretty typical. In the case of a recording made in a car with an open window, you've got traffic noise. Anything that the microphone can pick up, it doesn't distinguish between noise and the voice. It picks up everything.
What about a building?
In the case of a radio link, if the building shields the transmitted signal and the signal is not strong at the receiver, that can affect the recording adversely.
Can you explain to the members of the jury what the enhancement process entails?
The enhancement process that we use is called the AB method. The examiner sits at a table, and on his left is a playback machine which plays the original tape. And that's all that machine does. It does not affect the original tape at all except play it back. And there are two paths to a recording machine.
Oh my gosh, dude, get on with it. Damn it, Gabby. Oh, piece of candy. Those who don't know, I have to say it anytime Gabby says it. But yeah, Shitty, he's making it hard to watch. Like, the only thing that's keeping me awake right now is the chat. It's just like, come on, get on with it. And I do want to say, anybody that watches this on replay, I'm not laughing at the case. I'm not laughing that somebody was unalived. I'm not laughing that there are kids on trial or anything. I'm laughing at the live chat that is going on because they're having their own little party over there. But I'm not reading. I'm not putting those up. We're just going to keep going.
Which sits on the right. One is the A path is the direct path, and the B path is the enhanced path. And the enhancement equipment consists in a typical FBI setup of 5-foot racks, 19-inch relay racks, each 5 feet high. And the value of that equipment is about $100,000.
Do you have similar equipment now?
Yes, I do. It's on loan from the FBI.
And once you play it through this equipment, what is it that you do?
I'm getting a little dry. Is there water?
Sure. Yeah.
The enhancing equipment consists of many items, and the object, when you first listen to the specimens, we call it, we determine what is affecting the clarity of the tape. It could be hum, it could be any of the things I've mentioned in the past. And some of these are easier to correct than others. In the case of telephone line hum, there's a very potent instrument that essentially removes most of it. It's called the RCW320. It's a comb filter which takes out, I would say in the typical case, 90% of the hum. And the results are dramatic.
Now, when you use something like this comb filter to reduce a hum on a tape, how does it affect the other sounds of the tape, the other voices?
It does not affect it at all. Other instrumentation that's used are bandpass filters, which work to reduce the hum. Hum normally is in lower power line frequencies and down below the voice frequencies. The voice frequencies normally, well, in all cases, occupy the frequency spectrum of about 300 cycles per second to about 5,000 cycles per second. And if you've got noise outside of those limits, which can be controlled by bandpass filters, use those filters to reduce the noise. It's that type of equipment which is used to enhance the tapes.
So as you have the one tape and playback playing, how is the examiner or the enhancement person utilizing the same method? What are you doing?
All right, we have the 2 channels, and both channels are available at the output just before they go into the recording machine. And there's a switch provided so that the examiner can switch from the A channel while he's listening to the playback machine playing the original specimen. He can switch instantaneously from direct to enhanced. And he keeps working that switch and trying various types of enhancement equipment until he gets, in his opinion, the best enhancement he can get. And when he gets that, he turns on the recording equipment and makes the enhanced copy.
So this is clear, when you say the enhanced person or yourself switches from direct to enhanced, the direct line is just what is sound on the original tape.
That's the way it would sound to anyone listening to an unenhanced tape. That's right.
And the other line is the effects of filters and things of that nature on the tape.
Right.
Now, when you say you make these adjustments, and then when you're satisfied you have the best sound, you make a copy. Do you stop at each short interval of the tape, adjust the machine, or do you usually have one setting for the whole tape?
There's usually one setting for the whole tape, and that's to provide continuity.
Why is that?
Well, we don't want to introduce anomalies on the enhanced copy.
Is it just me? Oh shit. Or shoot, sorry. Is this like those people that are really, really intelligent and will just talk your head off. But they say a lot without saying like anything. Never really get to the point. That's what he reminds me of. Like that's literally who he reminds me of. Yes, hey to my sister-in-law Bree and my niece Mad Dog, who is getting ready for bed. Hello, Mad Dog. Hello, Bree. But yeah, back to that. Yes, they're so smart that they're dumb. And I just so far he has not really tied anything or gotten to the point. Yeah, saying nothing. I think he's probably smart, but I think he comes off like a person that just uses a lot of words without ever really saying anything, without ever getting to the point. So I mean, he's got let's see, he's got like 20 more minutes to get to the point, because after that it's a completely different person who testifies. So we'll see.
To starts and stops, and that's the reason why we use the ones we decide what is the best overall enhancement, and we make that one setting, run the whole copy.
Is it your experience that the interference or static causing these tapes is usually consistent throughout the tape?
Generally, it is, right? Generally, it is.
Is that a reason why one adjustment would satisfy the enhancement process?
Yes.
Now, in your enhancement process, is there anything that you do to the original tape or the original sound that would change someone's inflection of their voice?
No. No.
What effect, if any, does the enhancement process have on someone's voice on a tape?
Well, the effect is to make the intelligibility clearer. Make the tape clearer to understand and reduce the noise. That's the object of the enhancement.
Is there anything that you do in the enhancement process which speeds up the tape or speeds up the voices?
No.
Is there any additions or deletions made on these tapes when you create them?
No.
Now, did you ever receive tapes from the Attorney General's office in New Hampshire?
Yes, we have.
I'd like to show you what's been marked as 61 for identification. If you could tell me if you recognize that tape.
Flashman, we're not saying that he's stupid. It's just we're saying basically get to the point. But no, we're not calling anybody stupid. So relax, my boy, relax.
Yes, the legend in my own handwriting is Q1 with a lab number 00620-048 EYL. EYL is my FBI symbol number. And there's a date in my handwriting, 6/21/90, and my initials. Now, the lab number means something. The first 0 is for 90, the 06 is for June, the 20 is for the 20th day of June, and the last 2 digits, 48, that's the 48th piece of evidence the FBI received that day.
Now, when you say the 48th piece of evidence the FBI received that day, do you mean in this case or just in general?
No, they keep a sequential record of all the evidence they receive each day. And this identifies this particular specimen.
And you wrote?
And case.
Okay. So I'm standing next to you. I'm going to ask you to just speak into the microphone so the jury
Okay.
will be able to hear you.
Sure.
Now, You wrote on this tape June 21st, 1990. Is that the day you received this tape?
That's the date it was brought to me, yes.
Who brought that to you?
Detective Dan Pelletier
And
of the Derry Police.
I'd like to show you what's been marked for identification, the state exhibit number 62. We ask you to recognize that.
Yes, this is marked Q2, and it has the same lab number, the same FBI symbol, EYL. It has the same date. It has my initials. This was another specimen delivered to me that same day by Dan Pelletier.
Can you explain to the members of the jury what is the purpose of marking Q1 and Q2 on these tapes?
So I can identify these tapes in a court of law like today.
Now, what did you do starting with State's Exhibit 61 for identification? What did you do with this tape?
After identification, we go through the enhancement process, as I was requested to do.
Now, the enhancement process that you went through on tape 61 for identification, where that took place in your offices in Exeter, Connecticut?
Yes, right.
And who was present during the enhancement process?
Detective Pelletier was there and watched the whole process all day long.
And how long did it take?
He arrived, as I recall, about 10 in the morning and I think left about 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Now, do you recall how many conversations there were on State's number 61 for identification?
If that's Q1, I know them by Q1.
All right.
Q2.
I believe it is Q1. Why don't you tell us what you
All right,
recall?
there are 2 conversations, and they're both telephone conversations on Q1. And Q2 has another telephone conversation. And in sequence, I've been told, and I have no way of knowing other than being told, that the first conversation and the second conversation on Q1 are in sequence the 1/3 conversation of the specimen. And Q2 is the second conversation of the 3 conversations, telephone conversations.
These are all telephone conversations.
Yes.
I'd like to show you what's been marked State's Exhibit 64 for identification and ask if you recognize that.
This is another specimen. And, well, this is the enhancement result of copying the specimens that were just shown to me. The legend on this one says enhanced copy of Q1, part 1. And that means the first conversation. Same lab number, same symbol, my initials, and the date, 6/21/90.
Now, how many copies do you make when you make enhanced copies? Or how many do you make in this case?
Depends on what the contributor wishes. In this case, it was requested that I make 3 copies, and this is one of the copies,
Were all copies made at the same time?
simultaneously. Yes.
And you check the recording on all 3 copies?
Yes, they're all made at the same time, and we spot check the recordings as they're being made.
And when you were done,
Wait, YouTube booted you out like on the channel? It's been acting really weird today. My mom, this morning, she had tried to go into bakery and like she couldn't do anything. She couldn't like open anything. She couldn't chat. And finally it reset. But glad you're back. And no, Flashman, I know it wasn't you. YouTube's just been pretty weird today. Even when I started like in the YouTube studio and stuff, I had to completely go back and reset everything because it wouldn't show me any of the comments. And so I'm sorry that that happened to you. Yeah. They said, yeah, nope, boom, gone. I said, oh, you boob. All right, let's get back. We're a little bit more than halfway there.
On making this copy, what did you do with it?
I put the legend on the tape and put it in this case and sealed it up. And with the other two, I gave them to Detective Pelletier.
Now, when you say you sealed up the tape, I'm sorry, yeah, sealed up the tape, is there?
There's an FBI flimsy on purpose sealing tape here, so that can't be removed without destroying the tape.
And that was put on by you?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to show you what is,
We're talking about the sealing tape, not the
right,
not the recording.
you mean this yellowish
That's right.
tape which says evidence, Federal Bureau of Investigation,
Right.
Washington, D.C.
Right.
Now, I'd like to show you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 65, and tell us if you can recognize that.
All right, this is, because there were two conversations on Q1, it was desired to have the two conversations on separate enhanced copies. So we responded to that. This, what I'm looking at is an enhanced copy of Q1 Part 2.
So this would be the second conversation on that first micro cassette you had?
Right,
And it's your understanding that's the third conversation in sequence?
that's right.
Now, did you also make 3 copies of this enhanced tape?
Yes, I did.
All 3 given to Detective Pelletier?
Yes.
All right, I'd like to show you what's been marked State's Exhibit 66.
Okay.
Ask if you recognize that.
This is an enhanced copy of Q2, the second microcassette that we submitted. Enhanced copy of Q2, the same lab number, my initial 621.
Did you engage in the same process for State's Exhibit 66 as you did in the other 2 as far as making
Yes.
3 copies?
Yes.
Now, can you tell us in particular on State's Exhibit 66, which is Q2, what problems you had in the enhancement process?
Part 1, the first conversation was masked by a very heavy telephone line hum, which we were able to reduce considerably by using this cone filter that I mentioned earlier. That was the main improvement in that tape. Part 2 was extremely low level on the part of the far party or the one being interviewed. And it required, it was bassy to begin with, and it required treble boost to improve the frequency response, which in turn improves the intelligibility of the recording.
And were you able to improve the intelligence?
Yes,
How about on Q2, the second conversation?
that's the one, I did mention that. It was low level and bassy and required improving the frequency response to improve the clarity.
And we were able to do such?
Yes.
Now, of those 3 tapes those 3 conversations, was there any conversation that you had difficulty enhancing to the point?
Let's see, I'm sorry. Were you talking about Q2 in that last question?
Yeah, let me see if I can clear it up. Q1 has a part 1 and a part 2.
That's right.
Okay. I'm talking right now about Q1, Q1, part 1 and part 2.
Right. All right, that's, my comments applied to that.
Okay.
I haven't talked about Q2.
All right, now that's what I'm asking you about. What was your result in working on Q2, or what problems, if any, did you have working on Q2?
The problem with Q2 was, occurred during the recording of Q2, and it's a situation where the tape is not transported evenly across the record head. And we call this phenomenon skewing, where the tape skews or wiggles back and forth over the tape recording head. And when that occurs, of course, when you try and play it back, even on the same machine, it may not zig when it should zig. And when you play it back on a different machine, it's very difficult to have a complete recording because the azimuth on the tape itself is different from the ideal, which is 90 degrees from the direction of motion of the tape.
The azimuth which directs the tape is playing.
The azimuth is a perpendicular to the direction of the motion of the tape. And every good tape machine has an azimuth that's exactly 90 degrees to the direction of motion of the tape. All right, but that can be defeated, or minimized by a tape skewing during the recording process, so that when you play it back, you don't have that ideal condition of good azimuth.
Were there portions of Q2 which you were unable to enhance or hear because of this azimuth problem?
In order to get as much of the intelligibility off of that Q2 as I could, as it was being played back, I had to sit with a screwdriver on the playback head of the Panasonic RN36 machine that I was using to play it back and follow the variations of the skewing. And in that situation, few words or phrases, I'm afraid to say, were lost.
Now, did you ever receive any more tapes in this case?
Yes, in January, Dan Pelletier arrived on the 10th of January with 2 more tapes.
My Lord, we have been in this for 32 minutes and 44 seconds. And like I think it was Shinny who said earlier, it's like, okay, wow, you enhanced the audio. Why did it take you 32 minutes to say that? Exactly, old soul. I'm sorry, sir. You did what with a screwdriver? Oh, good thing is we're almost done and we don't go back to him tomorrow. We go to the detective tomorrow. So, and yeah, that's not water in that cup. That's vodka. Oh well, it was the 90s. You can do whatever you want.
I'd like to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 69 and ask if you recognize that.
Yeah, now this is a full-sized standard audio cassette.
And when did you receive that?
And I received this on January the 10th. And of course, this has a different lab number and a different queue number.
Can you explain?
All right, I promise I won't keep stopping, but I have to address something. Does Carmen even know how to properly blank a beer? Yeah. Duh. Gotta do it for my mom when Lesko does the super chats and my mom say, I ain't gonna do it. I always gotta step in. But yes, I do. Of course. I bet I can do it better than you.
Why it has a different lab number and a different queue number?
Well, each set of specimens that comes into the FBI has a different lab number identifying the day. Again, this lab number is 1, standing for 91, 01 for January. The next two digits are 10, standing for the 10th of January. And in this case, it was the 11th specimen arriving at the FBI in Washington, or at least the record is kept down there. The 11th item that day.
Now, the markings that are on the back of this tape, were those markings already there when you received the tape?
Yes, yes, they are. I had nothing to do with this. This identifies the tape to you, but it was put there by somebody else.
It's July 12th, 1990, is not put there by you.
No.
Okay. I'd like to also show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit. Here, let me get this out of your way. #71 for identification. Ask if you recognize that.
Yes, this is Q29. The earlier one here on the 10th was Q28.
You recognize it by the same lab number?
Same line number,
Same date?
my initials, yes. This was submitted that same day.
The notations on the back, such as July 13th, 1990, is not put on by you?
No.
And both of these tapes were given to you by Detective Pelletier?
Yes.
Now, during the enhancement process, Detective Pelletier present for the entire time?
Yes, he was there, sat there watching the whole operation.
I'd like to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 75 for identification. Tell us if you can recognize that.
Right, this is an enhanced copy of Q28, and it has my handwriting and identifies the lab number, my initials, and 11091.
And how many copies of Q28 did you make?
I was requested to make 3, and I made 3.
Were these all made and enhanced in the same process that they were for the tapes
Yes.
described on June 21st?
Exactly the same one.
I'd like to show you what's marked State's Exhibit 76. Ask if you recognize that.
Okay, this is identified as enhanced copy of Q29. The lab number for that day, that submittal, my initials, and 11091.
Again, 3 copies?
Again, 3 copies.
And all of those copies were given to Detective Pelletier?
Yes, the same day. He left early afternoon after the enhancement process was finished.
Now, Q28, for reference purposes, was a conversation dated on the tape July 12, 1990.
Yes, I was told later that this was a conversation in a room, and it had the effects of a large room, which makes it reverberant. This room has some reverberation because it's a large room. And there are ways of reducing that, principally by using the adapted filter, digital adapted filter, which improves the frequency response and reduces the reverberation.
Now, besides the room problems, was there anything else on this tape that made it difficult to hear?
Yes, the speech exchanges were very fast, and this was 2 females face to face, and a good part of the conversation, the 2 participants are doubling on each other.
When you say the speech exchanges were very fast and there was doubling on each other.
Right.
Explain to the jury what you mean by that.
Well, both people were talking at the same time, and that makes it very difficult to come up with a good transcript. It takes a lot of concentration and attention. Transcript is very.
Were you able to improve the audibility of Q28 through the enhancement process?
Yes, yes, I was.
Is any portion of this tape destroyed or anything?
No,
Any deletions or additions made in your process?
no.
How about on Q29? What problems did you have on Q29?
That one was done in a parked car, as I understand it. And there was the usual problems of traffic picked up by the microphone. And I understand there was a bulldozer that went by at a certain point on this tape. And those things marred the clarity or masked the clarity of the tape. But in general, I used bandpass filters and frequency response improvement to improve the clarity of the tape.
Now, did you have fast exchange or doubling problems on this tape?
Yes, that same thing occurred on Q29.
Now, this fast exchanges and doubling over, I mean, that's just human input, is that correct?
Yes, yeah, there's very little that we can do in the enhancement process to alleviate that problem.
Was there any other tapes that you handled in this case?
No, that was it.
Just a moment. No further questions?
A couple of things, sir. When you have doubling, which is, I think you just talked about two people talking at the same time.
Right.
That often happens when you're talking to people because you anticipate something and start answering or whatever.
Sure.
Or sometimes you start talking about something else before someone's done talking about what they were talking about.
Right.
What do you do when you do a transcript, when you have two words that are said at the same time? If there's doubling going on, and something's, tell me if I'm wrong, doesn't something have to come first on a piece of paper?
It does, and that depends on the on the skill of the transcriber. I had nothing to do with the transcribing mistake.
Okay. I'm not asking about any particular transcribing, but you've done transcripts before.
Yes.
I think you said you did some in the Watergate thing, right?
Yes.
When you get to a point where doubling is, suppose.
Hold on, I was distracted. Did this person just change? Or did he just put his glasses on? I wasn't paying attention. All right, we'll just keep going. We have literally like 1 minute left.
As I said the word green, you said the word cow, okay?
Right.
Exactly the same point in time, okay?
Right.
When you're preparing a transcript.
Right.
The preparer, or whatever, has to make a subjective determination of which word he's going to put first and second.
That's right. It has to be a sequence on paper. You can't do two. You can't print two words simultaneously and have it intelligible on a piece of paper. So the transcriber has to sort out the sequence. That's right.
In a good transcriber, if that happens, if we said the same two words at the same time, whatever I said, cow and green or something, if we said them at exactly the same time, wouldn't a good transcriber write doubling occurring or something like that so that the person reading could know that it's not a linear progression?
I think that'll be evident when you listen to the tape.
Now, aside from that, let me see if I understand the whole rest of the testimony. Essentially what you did is, on a couple of occasions, number of occasions, Danny Pelletier, a police officer, brought you some tapes. You took them and made them easier to listen to by enhancing them and gave them back to them.
Right.
And that's really the whole thing you're talking about. That's
Exactly.
That's what happened. Okay, thank you.
Okay, wow. Don't mind my stalker back there. That was thank you so much to that guy for spending more time on Watergate and Nixon than anything that had to do with the trial. And thank you for taking 43 minutes to just say that you enhanced the audio on a cassette tape and that you had to use a screwdriver. That was more pointless than what we wrapped up with last night. But hopefully the next person will not be pointless, and who we're going to get into tomorrow, I wouldn't say he would be pointless. He is actually the detective with this case. It'll be about 2 hours or so, but yes, I am surrounded by Freddy Krueger. Very much so I am. But do want to give another thank you again to Flashbang, Bribear, Old Soul, Puddletown. Also Puddletown for thank you for being a member for 11 months. Gabby and Let's Go ×2 for the super chat, and also Let's Go again, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Lastly, again, I know I said it earlier, those who do watch on replay, I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm not laughing that somebody is on trial for unaliving another individual. It is the live chat that is making me laugh. So let's see here. We got any other things to do? I don't think so. So like I said, Tuesday or tomorrow, we'll do the detective. Wednesday is actually the one I'm the most excited for because it's a key witness. It's the one who wore a wire and had a conversation with Pam Smart. So I'm actually really excited for that one. But thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for the super chats, making me laugh to the point that I had to go off screen because I had tears running down my face and I had to wipe my face off. So Gabby, I don't know if you're in here right now, or Flashbang, one of the mods, I don't care who does it. If you guys could drop a link down for Grandma's house, that's what most of us are going to go over there in about 45 minutes or so. I can't redirect you because it's a kids channel. It's sometimes the kids like to come over here, and we can't have that. Can't be having like a 6-year-old watching a unaliving trial. Thank you so much, Ada. We love you too. Glad that you're doing well, and we'll talk soon. But other than that, guys, if you guys don't have anything else, I don't have anything else. So have a great rest of the night, and I'm gonna give them just a second to hopefully drop Grandma's link. Flashbang, there we go. Is that one it? There we go. So yeah, go over to Grandma's house. We're gonna go play trivia in about 45 minutes. Make sure it's all right. They know who it is, guys. Make sure that if you're gonna say anything like adult, you gotta talk in code because there is kids there. I mean, they could be as young as 6, but also it's really fun because sometimes a 6-year-old will beat you on trivia. So have a great night, guys. Thank you so much for all your love, support, sticking around, and I will see you guys tomorrow. You might see AJ. Actually, that's a complete lie. That's not going to happen. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. That's the only way that we can find AJ because she's missing and she's in a dungeon somewhere having to put the lotion on the skin, or she's going to get the hose again. Have a good night, guys.
Guilty as the jury calls, echoes rising through the halls. Listen, Pam Smart, history calls, another name upon the wall. Stories fade, but lessons stay. Truth and consequence on display. A darker path that led astray. Like and subscribe before you go. Grateful you joined me for the show. Like and subscribe.